Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. Okay, not that it's going to come as a surprise, but what our topic is this morning is, of course, yet another school shooting. Had this one happen at Apalachee High School outside of Atlanta yesterday morning by a 14-year-old kid. Unbelievable. Something's got to give. Now, obviously, because we're talking about a minor here, we haven't seen pictures of the kid or seen any manifesto or anything like that. Okay, we don't know anything about what's going on with this kid. We don't. Okay. This is where the problem comes in. This is where we have an absolute failure again by the FBI. Apparently, this kid has been on the FBI's radar for over a year, since he was 13. Okay, last year, he posted something on social media talking about a school shooting and pictures of guns. The FBI tracked him down within a day, went and interviewed his father and the kid. And the father said that, yes, he had hunting guns in the house, and the kid had no access to them. Okay. So then yesterday, apparently, again, there was a call into the school in the morning warning that there was going to be a shooting. And nothing was done. And about 10:20 yesterday morning, a couple hours into the school day, this child went into the high school, killed 4 people, 2 students and 2 teachers, and injured at least 9 more. This is an issue. This is a huge issue. And this is exactly why I've said over and over and over again, never to go anywhere unarmed, because you don't know what's going to happen. Now, it makes it a little more difficult here that schools are gun-free zones. I think I told you last week when I was up for PBJ's white coat ceremony, Butler University does not allow guns on campus. Okay, had to leave it locked in the car. But now it goes back to other issues. There are also reports from the parents, okay, of the students who were in one of the classrooms where this kid came, that before this all happened, the school, and this apparently is after the warning phone call, the school sent a female staff member to go ask the kid to come to the office or whatever. Not the school resource officer, the actual person that's armed in the school. There's 2 of them in this high school, apparently. No, they just sent a secretary or something like that. Okay. Obviously didn't find them. No issue whatsoever with the kid being able to get a gun into school. Many times, many people have said that teachers should be armed. I'm going to agree with it. 2 resource officers for a high school is not enough. Okay. When I went to high school, and granted, I can't tell you anything about the Apalachee High School affluence level or anything like that. I don't know if this is a rich district, a poor district, whatever, okay? From looking at some of the pictures of the students, I guess it's your basic middle class district just by looking at some of the vehicles that were there, the way the kids were dressed. It was a multiracial school, so it looked like a very average middle class school. When I went to school, it was an average middle-class school. We didn't have to have people armed in school. Don't know, maybe they were. I don't know. But it was never talked about. But then I go back to when PBJ was in high school, and she went to your average middle-class school. They had metal detectors at all the doors. Now, that's not a bad idea. You're not walking into the school with a gun if there's metal detectors at the door. Okay? If the teachers were armed yesterday, God forbid a teacher have to shoot one of their students. I want to qualify. I don't wish anybody ever to have to shoot somebody. Ever. But maybe that would have helped. The fact they had school resource officers was at least a positive. And only four people were killed yesterday. Prayers to them and their families. But what can be done to prevent this? That's the big question. Personally, I think metal detectors at schools are required at this point. We're seeing way too many of these. Way too many school shootings. There was another one, in case you didn't catch this one, there was another school shooting yesterday in Sweden. 4 people were killed as well. Of course, yesterday you had the Biden administration and the Harris campaign both come out and scream bloody murder, going, we've got to ban guns again. Okay. No. I've seen one report that said this kid came in with an AR platform weapon. Didn't say if it was a rifle, a pistol, whatever. But immediately it's the gun's fault again. No. We want to place blame. First and foremost, the blame goes on the kid. Period. Then if you want to talk about secondary blame, let's put it on the parents. He's 14. There's no way he can possibly buy a gun on his own. Okay? So he got the gun from somewhere. So if dad said he had hunting rifles, we will all say again that an AR platform is basically not used for hunting. Okay? Maybe he did. I don't know. But dad didn't have the guns properly secured, if you will. Now, again, that's a matter that's up to, how do you do it? Do you have a gun safe? Do you have a trigger lock on there? Either one of those would be considered properly secured. All right? Some states have laws that they have to be. Some states don't. Okay? But somehow the parents are liable here as well. I mean, not that they're already not going through a living hell right now, realizing that their 14-year-old son is a mass murderer, okay? But they have some culpability in this as well, because that's where the kid got the weapon, inevitably. Maybe not, okay? Maybe the kid found it, broke into a car somewhere and saw it. I'm not saying. But then you have the school and their liability, because they knew what was up with the kid. I mean, if the FBI knew a year ago, the school knew too, okay? The FBI said a year ago they had no reason to arrest the kid. Sure, okay? But making threats of a school shooting, I don't care if it was just a joke. No, okay? Think of what happens to you if you say bomb in an airport, okay? But it was just a joke. No, you're standing in front of a judge, okay? This is where we are at this point in this country. We have children shooting other children, shooting adults. We have illegals shooting anybody, beating up anybody, raping anybody, killing anybody. And it's all about fear. And of course, politicians thrive on it. It gives them something to talk about. Amazing how this happened in Georgia. The one thing that really pissed me off yesterday about the public, pissed me off, that a kid get into school and shoot people. But what really pissed me off yesterday was all the fake news, all the misinformation that was put out on social media. And it drives me insane because 4 years ago, a lot of us were fighting against the lies that were coming out of the media. Hunter Biden's laptop was a Russian disinformation story and everything like that. And then after, of course, they squashed the story, it was true. We didn't want to tell you, right? Get that stuff. But yesterday, on social media, you had people saying, this is a trans kid. We don't know that. There's nothing that's been released if there's any truth to that whatsoever. Okay. They put pictures up of the kid. You can't find one. It's amazing, though, a 14-year-old kid not having a social media presence. But the worst one was when you had people saying this was a plot by the Democrats because it happened in Georgia to give them a talking point in Georgia to change their vote to Kamala Harris. And I'm like, seriously? Kamala Harris is a world-class piece of shit, no question. But I cannot think anybody on this planet other than Hillary Clinton would go low enough to go up to a 14-year-old kid and say, hey, I really need you to help me win this election. Would you take this gun and go shoot up a bunch of people at school? We need to start thinking here. This is as bluntly as I can put it. This isn't a gun problem. This is a social problem. I don't know if this kid was bullied in school. I don't know if this kid's girlfriend just broke up with him. Nobody knows that. Law enforcement has not been able to find the motive yet. But apparently everybody on social media knows everything about this kid. And people tend to believe that crap. No. We need facts. We need to know why this kid did it and what we can do to prevent stuff like this from happening again. But it just goes to show you, I don't care where you are. You're at school, still. What are we, nearly 30 years removed from Columbine at this point? Pretty close, 25, 30, something like that, when school shootings became en vogue, and we still haven't figured out how to stop them. We bitch about and we get told we have to pay more taxes all the time, right? Okay, metal detectors at school are expensive. Okay. Well, you have, for most schools, maybe high schools wise, mine was pretty big, and there were maybe 6 entrances to the school. Okay. Lock a couple of the entrances off. Buy 3 or 4 metal detectors at whatever they cost with the property taxes that they have no problem raising on all of us. Okay. Money's going somewhere into somebody's pocket, you know that. At least that stops something. You're not going to bring it in. And, okay, the alarm goes off. What happens? Gee, maybe the teachers need to be at the door to the school for a half an hour before school starts. I don't know a whole lot of kids who show up for school at 6 o'clock in the morning when school starts at 7:30 or 8. Okay. They start showing up around 7. Okay. You stay there for the half an hour, and all the kids walk through the metal detector, and if the thing beeps, the kid's pulled off to the side. Next kid going through. Pretty simple. Yeah, it costs money, but not doing it cost 4 lives yesterday. And I will bet you every single one of those families would sell their house, sell their car, liquidate a 401k to bring their kid or their husband or their wife home. We need a mental change in this country. Banning guns ain't going to do it. Taking people who have serious problems off the streets is going to do it. Why this kid was under FBI and GBI on a watch list for a year, does that excuse the FBI? Well, we knew he was out there. BFD. You didn't do anything about it. If the kid made these kinds of threats, if somebody called in a threat to the school yesterday and the school didn't go on lockdown, where's the failure? The administration of the school should be fired today for that. You can't really charge them as an accessory, but that's dereliction of duty, absolutely. This ain't going to get better. This isn't going to stop. We don't know if there's another one today. The media will portray this as, oh my God, all guns are bad. I don't know. My guns sit all over my house. Never once have any of my guns spontaneously shot anybody. Okay. And again, it's the person. Never have I bothered to shoot anybody either. Okay. Guess what? I'm not sitting in jail this morning awaiting a life sentence or a death sentence. We need to protect ourselves. This is just one more example of the world is a crazy place right now. Politicians are going about it all wrong because they have an agenda. They didn't talk about how sorry they were and how they could help the grieving families. No, they talked about how they could ban the guns. You had all the people who, we don't want to hear crap about your prayers and all this sort of stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. What party's been in control for the last 3.5 years? You haven't got anything done either. Shut up. Pinball out.